Welcome, everyone. Happy New Year. We've just been talking, and hopefully 2024 is going to be a great year. We'll get into welcoming Matt, our new supervisor, but let's just go ahead and take care of some business. And can we have a motion to approve the November 8th, 2023 meeting minutes?
I'll motion.
Okay. Second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And I always want to do a reminder that we do have 3 positions that are open, 2 members and 1 alternate. I will have to say that I forget her name now, Abby or Amber. There was the lady that we met at Community Day with the young children.
Who has the 2 children.
Yep.
So York originally, yeah.
She is interested, so we're gonna it's, she's just a little busy and hasn't been able to get her resume together to send over. So I'm just going to keep encouraging her. So, I mean, I think she'll be really helpful to be on a committee. I do too. Yeah. So Amber, if you're out there listening, hurry up, get that resume together. I told her it just had to be like a cover letter, Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. So just send that to the township manager. And really you send that to admin@lmt.org. You can email. On December 6th at the Board of Supervisors meeting, they did reappoint for a 2-year term, Lisa Huckler, myself, and Michelle Williams, so that our terms go for a 2-year period. So we were officially appointed at those meetings. Number 4 on our agenda is just the reorganization. So we want to welcome Matt Ross. He is the new LMT supervisor and was assigned as our liaison. So welcome, Matt. Is there anything you want to share with us, Matt, or just, I don't know anything about your background?
No, just want to say thanks for having me, and I hope to get involved in everything and learn everything that's going on in the township, and hoping to help with anything I can.
Okay,
wonderful.
Great. Well,
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yeah, welcome. And then we have to do our reorganization of our committee. So we have, well, 3 of us.
Swap.
So, do I have a motion for chair? Who wants to be chair?
I nominate Lisa. She's so good.
Yep.
Okay, we have Michelle making a motion to nominate myself. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'd like to second it.
Okay. Nobody else wants to commit. And then all in favor, we'll say aye.
Aye.
Okay. We need a vice chair. Anybody?
I nominate Cynthia. Knowing my situation this year, I got to get my act together.
Okay. So I have a motion for
Or
Cynthia.
we could do co-chair. I could even nominate myself. We could do co.
Well, we'll just do vice chair and then
yeah,
that's fine. I'll second the motion to make Cynthia vice chair. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. And then secretary. I mean, I have very high standards for, me and my meeting minutes. But
I can just tell me what to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, I nominate Michelle as
I'll
secretary,
do the template. Yeah.
But we'll work together on that. I've just been doing them for maybe 20 years. Did I say 12 years?
No,
I think it's been 20 years.
We can work together because I figured it's just part of the whole thing. So
yeah. Okay. Do I have a second? Cynthia, you want to second that? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
For Michelle? Aye.
I can't vote for myself. I'm sorry. With Lisa's assistance and beautiful template. So we'll keep it the same.
Yeah, exactly. And then I did want to go over, I think it's good in the beginning of the year to discuss the mission of the Disability Advisory Board, and especially, you know, with Matt being new to the advisory board. I'm just going to read it so that we have it, and I just want to have a little discussion. So the mission of the Lower Makefield Township Disability Advisory Board is to educate and advise the township and broader community about issues affecting people with disabilities, promoting inclusion, safety, and equal access for everyone. So, you know, our job is just to advise the Board of Supervisors of issues, you know, that we see, and assist township employees if we see things that are occurring, such as building. You know, Michelle would reach out to Jim Majewski in the township building. So, you know, we work in tandem with the township employees there. I think what got me thinking about this is we had a few emails that John Lewis was responding to, our former liaison. And in some of the emails from a resident, you know, I feel like they almost wanted us to do a little bit more than what our focus is allowed to be. So in other words, they're asking if we had like legal counsel on our board that could provide legal counseling. So I just want to make it clear, like, we're all volunteers. We're in there, you know, we do not take a one-on-one approach, you know, maybe assisting somebody with an issue. We would help that person navigate, you know, to the resources.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we created that template on the line last year, which was great, deferring them to whatever the need is, whether it's Representative Warren, Santa or AARP, you know, those things for people with disabilities and the aging population should really take a look at our website that we put together, the links, right? So.
Right. So so residents might think that we have a little more ability, you know, to help them with issues, and we might not be able to, but we will surely do everything we can to point them in the right direction and, you know, walk side by side with them in an issue. But we don't have anybody on our board that would, you know, can take care of a lot of that thing. So
there's
we have
expertise.
Oh, now I'm drawing a blank on who we had here last year. From the Center for Independent Living. That's what I was trying to think. Yeah, Center for Independent Living.
My old board. That's what I was thinking of. But they actually don't work legally either.
Right. But they do have resources, I believe. Remember, she said
they do. They do have resources for OVR, and now that they're sort of bridged with Lehigh Valley, there's so many opportunities that we can, you know, find the right area for a parent or somebody that needs to look at assistance or any kind of thing. So,
right. Okay. So it's just nice to look at what our mission is.
Yeah.
The next item I wanted to discuss was the elevators, the House Bill 1761 that Representative Monroe, Monroe's office had put in. I thought Perry Warren was a co-sponsor, but he's not a co-sponsor, but he obviously is familiar with it. So, you know, we had reached out to him. So we were going to send a letter of support, which for anybody that's just joining us, the House bill that Representative Monroe put together was really just saying that in requiring newly constructed apartment buildings or condominiums with at least 2 stories above grade to have no less than 2 elevators within 1 year of the effective date of the regulations. Now, I tried to get a definition of what apartment building was, and it is in the bill. Apartment building is a structure or portion of structure that is intended or designed to be occupied or leased for occupation as a residence for 3 or more households living in separate habitable spaces. So to me, that's 3 or more apartments, right? Separate apartments. And I didn't call back, you know, I asked for some additional information and I didn't get anything. So I really wanted to find out what are the rules right now. So how is this impacting? And really, if you look, we follow, and I think most of Pennsylvania and the United States follows the International Building Code.
ADA regulations, yeah.
Yeah. And even in those, for accessible, it's saying 4 stories or more. Okay, so I'm not saying that that's right, but right now, international 4 stories or more. But it also has like the square footage, like 3,000 square feet. So
Yeah.
to me, I mean, even, if you look at Cricket Preserve, I mean,
Well, it met the criteria. That's why they build them at
that's
3.
right. Only 3 stories, not 4.
And they
right?
put one ADA apartment in each unit because
Right.
that Dave told me that's
But it's
the
also
law.
accessible. Every unit has accessibility on the first floor. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily retrofitted, maybe with everything on the inside.
with the handles and things, but it's
Right. But it's accessible.
but no elevators because
No elevators, but they have apartments. So yeah. So my question, it's not that I'm against this. It's, we talked last time that in an over 55, in a apartment complex that has disabled residents and that
Yeah.
must live on multiple floors, even if it's only 2, absolutely, like they should be required to have 2 elevators in working order. One must always be in working order. So what is this doing? I don't really even understand this, how you can go from that drastic to just say 3 or more units, you have to have 2 elevators. This doesn't even make this doesn't,
quite frankly, I mean, because that policy lane, reading bills and understanding, I get it, but that's a very aggressive bill. I don't even know if it would pass the House, to tell you the truth.
right. It wouldn't pass. So let's make something. Can we reach out to him and say, can we compromise, right? And
Right.
say, this is the International Building Code. What is our purpose here? Is it really, maybe it's just keep it at the 4 floors, but you have to have 2 elevators, or if it's less than 4 floors, but it's this type of building, then you should require it.
Well, I would say, and contracts is not my lane, but I would say it has to be more than 3 residents. You would have to have a cluster of, maybe 9 would be feasible because
right.
the cost benefit analysis, who's going to take the hit on a $30,000 or more elevator?
Yeah, I don't know what they even cost. Right.
I know residential elevators are about 35. My friend put one in New Jersey, which was really nice. I was like, wow. But can you imagine from a commercial elevator, and then you multiply it by 2, then it's going to make the rents cost prohibitive, and the majority of the population that have to live in these apartments to begin with cannot sustain the exorbitant rents.
Right. So it's the affordability that we want to balance the affordability of apartments and accessibility. So
yeah, I don't think it would impact our township, but when you're looking at like around Oxford Valley Mall and which something that is near and dear to my heart, I've got to draft some, is, all these malls are dwindling. I would love to see affordable housing for aging, gentrified use, and people with disabilities. So that would impact it. I mean, I think 3 floors is decent. 3 homeowners, too little. It's too little.
Cynthia, I know you were working on some of this. Can you comment on anything?
Well, I agree with you. It did seem, a little unrealistic in the execution. But I wasn't, because I'm not that experienced with this, what we do here. I wasn't quite sure whether that was really something that we needed to be concerned about, or if they're just looking for support, because it would be a good thing, but
I know
the cost. I don't know if we need to worry about the cost. I guess that's what I'm.
Yeah, I guess we were looking at it from the affordability. So, but I mean, I like where you're going with what you're saying, right? I mean, we do want to encourage like accessibility. If you have the elevators, we want to for people to be able to get out in emergencies, or even just daily
Yeah,
life.
I mean, that story I told my daughter was
So-
heartbreaking. I mean, I guess from Cindy's, we just need to support it.
Yeah.
But the question is, we should reach out to Representative, who is it, Monroe?
Well, and they did respond back that the bill, they can make amendments at any time.
Yeah.
I mean, that was their response. So I guess, I mean, sure, but I wouldn't think it would pass the way that it's written.
No, I'm
So,
just thinking, I'm like
yeah.
one step ahead, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So,
So maybe I just respond back to the person I was dealing with now. I can't remember her name, at Representative Monroe, and just ask like where it stands, like when is it even going up for vote? Like, you know, and that we do want to support it. So we will send a letter. I have to review the letter again, Cynthia, that you put together. Maybe we can change that letter just a little bit to support everything, you know, the 2 elevators, but that,
Qualify it a little bit.
yeah, if it's unable to pass the way that it's written now, because it's 2 for 3 or less,
yeah,
maybe we support, you know, revising it to something, you know, different.
more accommodating to
Yeah.
serve the needs of the
Yeah.
population,
Right.
which then there's where the vein of economics and stuff would possibly come in. But
Yeah.
like I said, I don't think it would impact, as Cynthia said, it's not going to impact our township as much, but it would be wonderful to see this from a state and federal level.
Yeah.
And
And maybe you can say, we put it in there, we want it for certain buildings. It absolutely, at 2 floors in an over 55 or a disability complex, something like, I'm thinking like the Grundy Towers, if they were only 2 floors, they still should have 2 elevators, you know?
Now, the question that, I haven't read the bill, but the question would be, example given, and I don't open Pandora's box, but the Prickett is 3 floors. So if we reduced it, technically it's grandfathered that they wouldn't have to.
Correct.
But
it's only for new construction. Yeah.
Which would be very nice, given the amount of the.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I think we'll just revise the letter. I just want to make sure that we're looking at it, you know, before we recommended it. And those were just some of our concerns, but we surely would like to support something like that. So
yeah,
we'll move forward with that.
And related to that letter, I don't know if you saw how many people were carbon copied on it, like all the people that are on the committee for that. That's a long list. I don't know if that's what you typically do.
No, I think we'll probably just do maybe Representative Warren, because he's our, you know, in our district, and then Representative Monroe, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'll have to take a look at that list, unless there's somebody, I'll have to look. I don't remember everybody that was listed, but maybe one other, you know, department or something, Pennsylvania department.
Should we copy like the folks at Pickle and the, you know, Pennsylvania, the disability groups? I guess not yet. Let me think about that. Whoever was on the original letter.
Yeah. We'll take a look. I don't think we need to like every person on there, but
no, I would just include when you met like the Board of Supervisors, blind copy or copy, to keep transparency in the file, you know, keep one.
Yeah, we could definitely, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, copy Matt on it, and for the supervisors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Okay. The next item was just the Makefield Study Group, which we had our last steering committee meeting on November 14th. And then I think the Parks and Rec is putting together something, you know, for the Board of Supervisors at this point. So where we ended up, obviously they're going to take into account, you know, as far as we're concerned, they're going to have the proper amount of parking. They're going to have paths that are not the way that they envision it. Nobody's really going to be crossing roadways anymore. Like the parking, you know, you go into the where everything is going to be, and you don't really need to cross anywhere to get to the next, you know, from the playground to a field. So that was basically as far as our part. What's going to come out of this is the plan, but the plan is not going to be able to move forward until they find fields elsewhere. So this is like a long-term type of project. So people can tune in to the Board of Supervisors meeting for that. We were just part of it, which was great that we were part of the steering committee, just to make sure that
I've been so out of it as a former historic commission chair, and I don't keep up. Have they proposed any of the preserved farmlands as possible fields in discussions, like snipes?
Yeah, that'll be all part of the, and the schools, like the schools.
We can utilize, we might as well utilize and put that money back into.
So I think everything would be on the table. Not farmland. They're not going to take farmland away, but open.
No, but it's very possible that they want to do something with it because it's cash flow, and that's
outside of our committee.
Exactly.
we just give input into the Makefield part of it. So, all right. The next item I just wanted to bring up for van accessible parking spaces. It was interesting because Dave Rogers, who was a former member on our committee, we kept going with the 1991 standards. And we kept missing it under the 2010 standards. They did change it a little bit. So just making sure people understand, it used to be if you had 8 handicap parking spots, 1 had to be van accessible. So if you had 16, 2 had to be van accessible. So it was like 1 and 8. The 2010 did lower to 1 and 6. And again, just everything that we've had, we never really updated it for this 2010 standard of 1 and 6. So just to keep that in mind when, we're looking at any parking spots. So,
and just so I know, but just for anybody on the call, we did review all the Wegmans and the Chase and the CVS. Probably what's coming up is the restaurant and things like that. So we'll make that. There'll be one in there that's van accessible.
Okay. And then for Parks and Rec, we like to just keep up on what is going on. And the first one was 5 Mile Woods. Michelle, do you have an update on that? I think Jim had.
He did. And of course, as soon as here it is. 5 Mile Woods, we've got 2 ADA spaces paved in strips, still need to install signs and walkway to office. Installation of the accessible boardwalk in a portion of the park should start as soon as the weather permits. So that one's moving along. There's a photo attached, so it's happening. Great. I've got Prickett Preserve too, if you want.
Okay, wait, you hold off on that. Yeah, we'll touch that. Okay. Then the everything else, there's really no updates. So we will just I'll touch base with Monica at Parks and Rec for the next meeting, but really nothing, it's winter time, nothing's really happening. And so we will touch on the Memorial Park, Secret Garden, the new surface that's needed. I think the shade is going to be nothing that's going to happen anytime soon. Veterans Park is still in the design phase. Pool bathrooms, we know that they're still not being renovated fully at this point. Something that we'll concentrate a little bit more on is the community center handicap door and parking. So they still have problems, even not with the bus. Before it was like, when they had bus trips with the seniors, it was really overloaded, but they've taken care of that. But there's still issues. So, maybe we can help out with that. And then as they enter into their programming for the summer and part of the transition plan, we do want to get involved with the ADA programming for, whether it's children's type events, programming, or adults. We just want to get that into the transition plan and make sure that, it's available to our residents, but it'll be in a more formal way. It's always available to the residents now on a case-by-case basis. They're going to, make every accommodation, but with the ADA transition plan as part of the accreditation, it needs to be formally written out. So that's what she's discussing, is just having formal procedures in place. So those were the only items that we'll just, keep up on. All right. So Michelle, on the building plan review, go ahead and give us any updates now.
I kind of tapped on the Prickett, paving work along Stony Hill Road for the accessible trail from the project over the 295 bridge into Edgewood Village is now complete. The barrier on the bridge still needs to be installed, weather permitting. Portion of the trail that runs behind the apartment units needs to be installed. And Wegmans is opening to the general public March 20th. Pending, I assume, but that's what the press has too. And the work has started on the building that will house the Firebird's Grill. I thought it was a steakhouse, maybe it is, restaurant. So I'm sure we'll get some plans. I'll reach out to him and just say, hey, do we need to
can we get those plans sooner than later?
Yeah. I'll see if
I know there's 2 floors, so I don't know if they're putting an elevator in.
I highly doubt. I can't speak. But
yeah, right.
Personal experience of restaurants, not much.
Right. So that's just something, to look at, and then.
I was actually, this is a side topic, but I had to go to the Chase about a month ago. Very surprised they did not have a door opener. They did have a greeter to open the door, but I'm thinking in my head, why don't they have a door opener? So maybe that's something we need to address.
Well, places don't have to have door openers as long as they have the 5-pound pool that's ADA accessible. So not every, I don't think it's required to have automatic doors.
Especially in the new buildings today. It's just so.
Did you notice if they had a handicap, like TD Bank or the PNC Bank, I think has a lower counter level? So that if a person in a wheelchair. They did? Okay.
It's a very different design, and I can't remember it, but it might be the new Chase models, similar to looks like a cafe bistro. You go in, there's tables, but they did have a lower
okay
at the counter. They don't have a drive-through there. So
they just have an ATM machine. Yeah. Okay. So, but with looking at the restaurant, we just want to make sure, it's just all ramped up.
I'll shoot Jim a note tonight or tomorrow morning.
I think we did see some of the outside on the site plan, and we did make comments on that a couple of years ago. So just be interested.
Well, are they putting the restaurant in the old historic property?
Yeah, I think, but they're building onto that.
So that's grandfathered. There's going to be, I would be very interested in looking at that to see how
they're adding an entire section on. So we just want to make sure, like, there's no step. If they have step downs, I feel like there might be a step down, so there has to be a ramp. Like, I feel like it's going to be all glass. There's like an all glass enclosure somewhere.
That makes sense. So that's kind of the look on stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll reach out tomorrow. And I haven't had a chance to see the Wegmans plans for their terrace that we approved. I'm sorry, my little kitties. Meow, Tex. Do you want to be part of the Lower Makefield Disability Advisory Committee? We have a couple seats open, right?
Okay, well, we'll just keep monitoring that. And then I know you had brought up a Shady Brook, but I mean, that's so preliminary right now. Then the over 55, I think, would be in Middletown anyway. Yeah. I know you were questioning something about the over 55, so it wouldn't be something that we would be reviewing. But when that comes down the line, Jim will definitely keep us in the loop on that.
Now, the only other thing for everybody on the call tonight is the Regency Yardley ADA compliant pedestrian crossing has been added to the intersection of Big Oak and Locust Drive. I'm trying to think more of Project will eventually provide a pedestrian connection between Regency South, North, Yardley Woods, and the CVS PNC in that area.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope it works.
I do too, from a traffic flow basis, but
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great.
That
And
was
then,
it.
okay, thank you. I always put on the first meeting of the year to think about for the next meeting, you know, are there any other goals that we would like to accomplish, you know, this year? We have our normal goals that obviously are every year as far as reviewing plans and design, you know, design plans. But, you know, is there something, you know, we always want to do community outreach. This year, I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult because they're not going to have community day the way that it was. So we won't have like a booth. But I know that they do other events. So we might have to consider maybe doing some of the smaller events. I know Parks and Rec holds some things at the community center. Maybe we reach out to the seniors differently.
That's what I was just going to say.
Okay.
What do you think, Cynthia? I mean, I was trying to think.
So I'm just going to put community
who
outreach.
Are our target, right? Can we reach out, do some kind of little town hall or a booth? You know, what's going on?
What was the other thing we did? Oh, the 5K anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, and the run. Are we going to be doing the run again? The color run, hopefully.
I would think, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anything that we could raise awareness and accommodate the children with, whether it's cognitive, physical, mobility challenges, disabilities, whatever we can do to, you know, work with the community on stuff. So
maybe we can reach out to the CIL, the Center for Independent Living, and see what types of programs they have coming up this year. And maybe we join with them in something, whether we sponsor.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I can shoot a note to
maybe we can sponsor not an event, but not a lecture, maybe something of interest that people might
we could host.
Yeah.
I don't know, what are the parameters that we're allowed to sponsor? We can't sponsor something, but
no, you can't sponsor, but we could hold, like if there was a specific topic, just like the Environmental Council does seminars on how to recycle, let's say. So could we do a mini seminar on something, you know, I don't know, something that we would think that our population, our residents would be interested in.
Actually, I think there's a lot of topics that people in this community and zip code are unaware of, that people that are in the aging population and people with disabilities might be very interested in learning about, you know, such as Farmland Homestead Acts. Perry Warren's office was a big help. Coming in and retrofitting your, you know, your home. Now it's obviously all contingent upon budgets and needs and things like that. But as money starts shrinking and home prices continue to increase, but you need to have things fixed to accommodate disability challenges, mobility. It might be something that's interesting because a lot of people, including me, I have to say, and my background's strategic planning. I mean, advocacy. It's a puzzle to put together different nonprofit groups that do this and that. And so maybe we could work with somebody over at Representative Warren's office and
and they're always holding events. So maybe we could jump in on something that they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. She just sent me something in the mail, like a packet of great stuff, which I haven't even opened yet, but
okay. So I think there's other ways, you know, to reach out to the community, and maybe if we can just think of maybe one or two new ones that we could possibly do, whether one's with the CIL, one's with Perry Warren. We continue to do the 5K and then maybe reach out to the seniors. So
do you want to divide and conquer between Cynthia? Should we try to reach out to somebody? Do you want me to do CIL and?
Yeah, you can do CIL. And then, Cynthia, maybe, do you want to just look into the senior group? Maybe just look at their website, see even what they have, like look at their newsletter, see what types of events they have, and then get the feel of the land. And you could say, is there anything we could partner with? Is there anything your group is interested in? So if you want to do that, and then I'll just do the Perry Warren.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything with the library? I mean, the library is pretty okay on the stuff, but
Yeah.
okay.
I think that will be enough. I think we always get over ambitious.
I know.
Run out of time.
I know.
So, okay. No, that sounds good. And any other, I mean, you don't have to let me know now, but anybody have any other goals that you would like to see us, or some topic that we haven't touched on that maybe we.
Well, I really have appreciated all these curb cuts that they've put in, they've installed. And what I'd really like to see is a map to see, for somebody who's using, a motorized wheelchair or whatever, can you figure out how you can get from point A to point B? Because, just like on Big Oak, we've got some paved and then all of a sudden there's nothing. And so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the goal is to have everything connected at some point with the curb cuts. So as they're doing as they're doing the paving of the roads, all those half curb cuts must be ADA compliant. So if you follow the asphalt paving cycle, every year they come out with their list of what they're paving for the year. You're going to know that those curbs are going to be, ADA compliant. So that's one way. But as far as, I think they probably do have a bike path, list, but I know they were working on trying to get all the bike paths connected. But I don't know that they have anything up on, like the website, but we could surely ask Jim,
Yeah, it would be nice to see a map. So,
and that reminds me of something that we in the MS world do. I was advised that it's not only me, it's kind of a foreshadowing. You want to be prepared. You want to know where you can go if you have your wheelchair or walking. I did it with my daughter's wedding. I wanted to make sure what the aisle looked like and the bricks paths, and it's kind of that mental preparation of so maybe we could put something, if it's available, on the website that shows these are wheelchair curb cut accessible, that people could take their scooter. A lot of people are using scooters these days. It might be something we could do.
Okay. And anything else? Any new business? I guess that would have
It's new business.
Yeah, we're skipping that. No new business. Next thing would be meeting dates for 2024. I mean, I like to just go out, a couple months, but I would propose that we just cancel next month, February. It's February 14th.
So we cancel that one and then
just cancel that one. And then the next date would be March 13th, I think is the Wednesday. So if that's agreeable, I make a motion to cancel the February 14th, and then our next meeting would be March 13th. I don't know if we have a second. I made a motion. Cynthia. Okay. And all in favor of those dates? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Do we have any public comment, John? He's probably not listening. I'm assuming nobody's on the line to call in.
Anything?
No public comment.
No public. Okay. Thank you.
Anything from Matt or any questions, Matt?
Any other?
Nope, no questions from me.
Okay. All right. And all right, we'll make it official. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move for that.
Okay.
I'll second.
And all in favor? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and that baby's coming.
It's got it in the next, well, let's see, what's today, the 10th? No longer than 10 days. That's 2 weeks
text
past due.
her and say, go watch.
All right, and then I'll,
Yeah, if you could send a note, we'd love to know.
all right, will do. I
Keep us
will,
po-
for sure.
Keep us posted. I'm only getting puppies, no babies. Thank God.
Okay. All right, take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Matt. Nice meeting you.